In the world of automotive performance, there are a few things as iconic or visually captivating as a root-style supercharger. It doesn't matter if you're 50 years old or 5 years old. When you see a huge blower sticking through the hood of a car or truck, you instantly think power and speed. And there's probably a little voice in the back of your head that softly utters, "Hell yeah." Now, growing up in the Midwest in the 80s and 90s, I was always mesmerized by the sound and style of blown hot rods and trucks, and having a blower car is something that I've always wanted. Well, now, that time has finally come. All right, so we're here in Anaheim, and it is a very crispy day. We're out front of BDS Superchargers. We're gonna go do a couple things here. One, we're gonna go pick up a new supercharger for the Tahoe, and two, we're gonna dive into some of the background of this company, because when I first came here, I had no idea that this is still a mom and pop run shop. The coolest part is they're making everything here. Every single part on the blowers are made right here, and they are still in Southern California, which is a huge rarity these days because they've run out basically every automotive aftermarket company completely out of California. So the fact that they've been here, I think since 1969, it's pretty sick. So come on, let's get it. All right, let's go see Kurt. Oh. Hey, Zach. What's happening? Ladies and gentlemen, we got our man Kurt here. He's going to walk us through everything. And Kurt is OG, triple OG. Actually, when I first met him, Soupy texted me. He was like, yo, you're with Kurt. He's like, the last time I saw that dude, he said you guys disassembled an engine in a hotel room and used the back tank of a toilet as a parts washer.
Yeah, that's true. That's back in the early 90s.
Yeah. What were you guys doing anyway?
Out building engines in the hotel room.
Whatever. I'm down with it. You think we can go and check out I want to show the people what you guys do here, because like I was pretty taken aback the fact that you guys like make everything. Right?
Everything in Anaheim, California.
Yeah. So
every part. Yeah.
Can we take them in the back? BDS Superchargers was founded in 1969 by a guy named Craig Railsback.
Hi, I'm Craig Railsback from Blower Drive Service. I've been in business for 38 years. You want to know what I know about supercharging? Pick up this DVD. You'll learn the shortcuts and the easy way to make it work.
He started the company in his one-car garage in Whittier, California. And even with the huge crackdowns by the EPA recently, which have forced most performance aftermarket auto companies out of the state, they have remained true to their Southern California roots and still manufacture here to this day. Okay, so this is what we're going to be putting onto Waylon's new engine, that Dart 427 that Texas Speed's building. So this is a very familiar product. This is a BDS 871 polished OG style case with the simple ribbing as opposed to the scalloped kind of new edge super high performance stuff. We want to go with that classic look because you know what, there's nothing that beats this kind of stuff. So hey Kurt, obviously, okay, we got the 871 here, right? This is a stage 2.
Yes.
Right? So what is the difference between like stage 1 and stage 2 real quick?
So basically on a stage 1, everything internally, meaning rotors inside the case, bearing plates, are just raw aluminum.
Okay.
There's no coating or anything on it. And then a stage 2 is hard anodized. So where it's almost like a buffer if you were to say, get the thing really hot and the clearances got a little tight. Instead of it galling the aluminum, it will kiss that hard anodize and it'll still have kind of lubrication to where it just doesn't wipe the whole thing out.
Gotcha.
So the rotors inside the case, the bearing plates, and the top is all hard anodized.
Nice, okay. A lot of hard anodized going in this motor, but basically every aluminum part that's internal that's seeing heat. It's nice. With this kind of setup, what kind of range of boost are we looking at usually?
So our stage 2 blowers are good for 20, 25 pounds of boost. The average guy for street use is probably running anywhere from 4 to, let's say 10. And then for guys like what you would be doing is hot rodding, burnouts, all that type of stuff. You guys run anywhere from 12 to let's say 18 pounds of boost. This thing will live for years and years and years and have consistency and horsepower, and it won't lose any type of air due to a Teflon strip kind of wearing out or anything like that.
So we just dump a whole bunch of methanol in it and keep partying for many moons to come. And that's what this is all about. The coolest part about these old root style superchargers, old school root style superchargers, is you get instantaneous torque and power, right? As soon as you smack that throttle, boom, explosion of tire. At Burnout Wars, if you're gonna make points, you gotta make instantaneous smoke. We want instantaneous 150 mile an hour wheel speeds. And this is the ticket right here. On an 871, what's the length of the rotor?
The case is what we go off of, and that's from the actual, not the bearing plates or anything, the actual case itself is 15 inches 900.
Okay.
So like a 671 would be 15 inches. A 871 would be 15 900.
Yep.
And then it goes up an inch from there.
So not 900 of an inch, but an inch from there.
It's 900. We call it an inch. Everybody tape measure 900.
We're calling. Yeah. Very
how
typical guy stuff. Guy measurement. All right, let's get it.
I'm glad that you guys got to stop by.
We got hit that. The origins of the Roots blower was based off a design by Phil and Francis Roots as a water pump, but during testing they accidentally realized it was really good at moving air, and thus a basic design was patented in 1860 as an industrial air pump. GM adopted the Roots blower design in 1938 to help its two-stroke diesels breathe. 10 years after that, a young engineer and hot rodder named Barney Navarro had the idea to use a war surplus GMC 371 Supercharger and mount it to his flathead roadster that he was racing on the dry lake beds of California, and ever since that point, forced induction would become a mainstay in the world of motorsports. Let me ask you this. So you guys, I know you guys make all the pulleys here, right? Where do the belts come from?
So we buy these belts in sleeves, and then we have a CNC cutter that actually cuts them for width.
One thing you'll notice, so this actually stuck out to me. So like if you have like a newer Harley or something like that that has a belt drive on it, which like surprisingly are really hard to break. Like most of my stunt buddies actually have gone back to running belts instead of chains now. And I noticed that you guys got some scenarios where you're running like that.
So we have another company called BDL, Belt Drives Limited, and we do all the belts for the belt drive stuff.
Oh, well this makes sense.
Yeah, and those are all the poly belts that you're looking at right here, and that would be something that would come on a Harley. We make everything from our steel components to our splining, the actual hub. We've got many CNC machines to actually do all of this. So we do pretty much everything in-house except for the bolts, the bearings, and the seals. That's the only thing that we don't do here.
Damn. Okay. The best part to me about Superchargers, and I probably already said this in this episode, is that like there is no comparison to when you just see something coming down the road and this is sticking out of the hood and you hear that sound. It is the coolest ever.
With turbos, you don't see anything.
Nah, you don't. You just, and you hear, and it interrupts your exhaust sound. You know what I mean?
It does.
This makes the exhaust sound so much more violent.
Yeah. You can hear the camshaft, you can hear it pulsing. It's just the best of both worlds.
You know, it's always like, hey, it takes X amount of horsepower to turn the blower, right? Like I know in a top fuel application, it's like 600 horsepower to just turn those giant, you know? So with something like this, like what's the deal with that though?
It's really hard to say because it's all blower setup related. More Teflon that you have in it, the more it's gonna have a little bit more resistance to it.
But at the same time, you're like making the horsepower as it's taking it.
Correct.
So like
So this is my rule of thumb, and this has been it for, I don't know, 20 some years. Engine builders who used to build engines back in the day for a blower would build them 7.5 to 1 compression, static compression. Well, nowadays, because we have more ability to tune and atomize air fuel, things like that, you want the engine to be most efficient that it can be, and then add the blower on top of it, and at that point you're only adding a little bit of boost, but your efficiency goes way up, and the blower loves it because it runs cooler. You don't have to drive it like 20% over to make so much more power.
Gotcha.
So if you're gonna have an engine that makes 500 horsepower on normal aspiration and you add the blower to it, let's say it's 9.5 to 1, a little bit of blower or a little bit of boost is gonna make 200 horsepower. Yep. Where if you had it 7.5 to 1, you'd have to run 15 pounds of boost to make the same power.
It's like my setup's gonna be like 10.5 to 1. So,
Perfect.
you know,
all day long.
Right where it's supposed to be.
This bench right here is our race blowers. And when I say race blowers, this is the type of blower that we build for anything that's gonna have alcohol, anything that's gonna be a drag boat, drag car, something that's making a lot of power. These blowers are capable of making 40, 50, 60 pounds of boost with this type setup. There's different inlet and outlets to accommodate what the person is building as far as for power and stuff.
I see. So I noticed like this
this inlet's like way over here, whereas opposed to that 871, it's like
Correct.
the whole damn top of it.
Yeah. And then if you actually flip it up like that, that's a pie.
Oh.
So all the air gets shoved up here, and that's where it's cramming it in the engine.
Nice. So is this because there's like less area for it to go through? Is it actually creating more pressure?
More, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Where are these cases machined, by the way? Like, you guys are making these, right?
So everything, all these cases are 6061 aluminum, but they're an extruded aluminum. And when I say extruded aluminum, basically the shape of this is hollowed out so you don't have to machine all of the bore. And on the outer is just solid. So all we have to do is realistically machine the outer and then machine the inner to whatever rotor size that we're actually boring it to. Kind of like a cylinder on a block. Yeah.
Can we take a look at rotors?
Absolutely.
So I can see. One of the things I was curious about, I hear the term high helix and regular. So if you could just, can we show the difference between the two?
This would be a high helix, and what it is a high helix has a 120-degree twist to it.
Right, so, oh, okay.
So realistically, the length from here to here is longer, so it's moving more air.
Gotcha.
And then your standard helix would be a 60.
Is this like a standard helix right here?
Yes.
And so basically that creates a longer rotor.
Correct.
Gotcha.
To move more air. Basically, this would be one of the setups where he's going to start cutting dovetails. That's what they call them. And he'll start cutting the groove in there. That way he can pull the Teflon through and it locks in. That's another setup for like a right and left rotor. And then there's another thing that we do here that other companies out there don't have the ability to do, is this is our rotor balancer. So we actually balance our rotors, and this is how fine they get as far as, 1 gram.
Really? Is this just like a stick-on, almost like you're balancing a wheel?
It goes inside the hole of the rotor.
Oh, okay. So it's not like...
It would go inside here to balance anywhere on this lobe.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that way all of our rotors are actually balanced.
How old? I love all the old machines, all the old lathes. Usually, like, for some reason, old stays true. Wait, are these all assembled superchargers?
Yes.
These are like ready to go?
So that's one thing about BDS that no other company has, is at any given point, we have about 180 to 230 blowers of all flavors, from a stage 1 polish to black to some kind of custom stuff to stage 4. And they're always on the shelf, ready to be sold right out the door. If you call us up, within 24 to 48 hours, we can get your whole blower kit out the door.
It's important. Nobody likes waiting on parts.
No.
So this is red. So you guys cast, you guys polish these too, right? Like,
yeah. So one thing that we used to do last year is we stopped our foundry, that we used to cast all of our intake manifolds in-house. Now we actually have a company in LA using all of our molds so that they can actually cast them for us.
Oh, nice. And is that casted here in the States, or?
It's in LA.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
One of the biggest foundries that are out there, there's 2 in LA, and between both of those, majority of your cylinder head companies and intake companies, and like even Offenhauser, they use the same company that we do.
Nice. So this looks like a big block. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That one is huge. What is that for?
That's the 429 460.
Big old Ford tractor stuff.
Yes. So the next thing I think I want to do is take you over to where the stuff starts from scratch.
Yeah, let's do it.
Show you the machine shop.
Gotta see how the sauce is made. If you have any friends or enemies that need disposing of, this should probably do the trick. 0.
All right, so this is our machine shop, which is next door to where our assembly and our sales and where we actually keep all of our products. Let's start with pulleys. So that's what your pulley starts at.
Damn.
Do some curls with them.
Yeah, so basically you just chop it down and then just CNC them down?
This one does one operation, which this side of the machine does this facing, and does the bore. Then we take it off there, we put it on the other machine, and then it does the actual bore of the center. This is basically the machine that does.
Oh, so it just goes up and down?
Goes up and down. It's really nice being able to manufacture your own parts, because back when COVID was here, we kept rolling. We didn't have to wait for stuff overseas. We didn't have to wait for anything. And the way the owner of this company works is he basically buys 6 months to a year supply of material. So even if we have a supply shortage, we're still gonna be running stuff for the next 6 months to a year.
Can't let supply chain shortages ruin your business. That's why you gotta keep it here in the States, baby.
There's some other machine that we talked about as far as age that is phenomenal that I want to show you. And these machines were built in the 50s.
Yo, so when I came here the first time I saw these, I feel like I'm in like a movie set, right? Craziest shit though is all this like mid 1900s and you know earlier machinery still works. It's still just giant cast iron. All you got to do is basically grease
and feed it.
Yeah. So this is all the knurling, right? Like,
yeah.
A big part of this company is you guys also do the impellers, right?
Impellers for Jabsco.
So yeah, so they're not just making superchargers, right? A big part of the business is making parts that are absolutely necessary for things like water pumps, right? Food grade manufacturing pumps, all around the world, right?
All the suction pumps in hospitals that suck all of the gross stuff out of you. That's the impellers that we make. Those impellers are made out of rubber and they have to be vulcanized around this knurling to keep it biting. So when this thing rotates, the impeller doesn't spin.
So essentially the reason why idiots like me get to make a bunch of horsepower and look like complete dickheads on the street and all this noise is because there's two angles of business here.
Yeah.
This stuff right here is the other products they're making, essentially. This and then the brass that goes inside. What's that called?
That would be the broaching.
The broaching, yeah. So what is this? These are for like...
That's the milk pumper.
Milk pumpers.
Dairy product.
Never mind. I was gonna...
Milk pumpers,
My girlfriend has a similar name for me, but...
This would be like a tugboat, you know, big diesel, water pumper.
Really?
Yeah.
So just induction pumps, stuff like that?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you want to make race car stuff, have a completely different industry that you work in that makes the money so you can burn it with the race car stuff. Look, I appreciate you showing us all around. Now, if you don't mind, I think we need to pick out a blower.
I know we do. So this is basically what you're gonna put on there.
Hell yeah.
You and I both agree, we both like the classic style versus the scallop style.
Yeah.
Scallop's
cool.
You don't have a show car, you know, or
It's you know, this is clean. I like the clean look of it. I feel like this amount of the ribbing, right? Like this is good. With no ribbing, it's like kind of bare. But yeah, this is mint. This is right where it need to be. Wait, did you actually have this set up for me, or did you just have this sitting out?
that's the one that you wanted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. What does this thing weigh, by the way?
81 pounds.
Damn. Wait. Yeah. Oh, it's not that heavy. Is this 81? Are there rotors in it? Oh, okay. I was like, what the?
Dang, he killed it. He had to lift it up. So yeah, it's bare.
Yeah, just, oh yeah, no big deal. First time I came here, I didn't think that I was gonna come to like a small shop where everybody was basically working by hand. You know, it wasn't all just like machine done, just not like, it's not another marketing company that's just outsourcing everything. It's like people doing it here, still in California, Still since 1969. What is that? 79, 89, 99, 2009, 2019. Yeah, I mean, like what, 55 years? See? Everybody's getting chased out of California. So it's cool to see it still right here at the heart. Where hot rodding began, baby. Well, thanks to the guys at BDS. Not just for supporting idiots like me and awesome stuff like Burnout Wars, but for staying true to their roots and keeping manufacturing here in the United States, and especially being one of the last holdouts for California horsepower. We'll see you when we're making more power, baby.
I don't like you.